Masachet Sanhedrin Daf Mem Tet Amud Aleph top first line. Today's daf sponsored by Yosef Gindi Refuah Shlema Emilia Bat Frida. Atulu Yoav Dana, they brought Yoav before Sanhedrin to judge him like he wanted to. Mother, they asked him, Martin Makatul Avner, why'd you kill Avner? Mother, he said, Goel Adam da Asel Hava. I was acting as the living relative avenger of my brother Asel. Avner killed him. So Beneau, the judge told him, Masa'ar Asel was trying to kill Avner. That's why Avner killed him. Amar Le'av answered him, Avner could have killed him, saved himself. Instead of killing this pursuer, you could have injured him, stabbed him in the leg, and you killed him unnecessarily. Amar Le'av said, no, maybe Avner was unable to. Amar Le'av answered him, Hasha b'defin hamishit kivenle, תכתיב ויקהו אבנר בחווה חנית על החומש. אמרו יחנן בדופן חמישית במקום שמרב וכבד תלויים בו. He said, I've said 1 second. He was able to hit him exactly by the fifth rib, and by the fifth rib, Yochanan says the gallbladder and liver are there in that area. So he was able to aim there, but he couldn't say stab him in the leg instead. Marlebino said, Nezel Avner. Okay, you know what? Fine. Maybe you're not chayal for Avner. Why'd you kill Amasa? Marle, he said, Amasa morid machutava. Amasa rebelled against the king. The king told Amasa, bring me men for Yehuda within 3 days. He brought people, and then he started, it took longer than usual. He should have. Marleh Ben said, you know why he took longer? Amasa learned the word rak and ach. Because when he came together, he found them learning the Gemara. They said, Pasuk says, Kol ish asher yamre et picha, v'lo yishma et devarecha l'chol asher tzivanu yumat. Pasuk says, if whoever rebels against Hashem and is not listening to them will die. Yaakov lo devar Torah, numar rak hazak v'mas. The Pasuk says, maybe you might think even Talmud Torah you should listen to. Pasuk says, however, you shall be strong in learning Torah. So we see you're supposed to, if it's coming between listening to the king and learning Torah, you should learn Torah. So he says, you know what, I'll wait. And therefore he shouldn't have been killed. So he says, so Yoav, you were the one who rebelled against the king. The Pasuk says, Yoav went against the wrong king. He rebelled against the crown, therefore he was Hamitah. My Lord Nata, what does it mean Yoav did not go after Avshalom? Yoav wanted to go. Lord Nata, he didn't actually go after Avshalom, who went against David Melech. Why didn't he go? But David Melech was still strong, so Avshalom was rebelling against David, but David was still strong, so he didn't want to go against David. The strong army of the David was still existing. Who are these strong men? We said earlier in the Masechet, 400 young soldiers in his service. They were all the sons of the captives that were impregnated by soldiers. They had long hair, and they were the head of the army and strong of the king's army. They argued against Rabbi Abba Bar Kahana. The Amar Rabbi Abba Bar Kahana had, right, so we said Yoav wanted to rebel against David, but we say over here, this Rabbi held that if not for David, Yoav would have not been able to fight war. If Yoav didn't act just as general, then David cannot learn Torah. David did judgment and righteousness, and Yoav was chief. Meaning he was able to learn Torah because Yoav was chief, and Yoav was able to chief because David was learning Torah. Yoav named David, Yoav left David. My bor hasira, what does it mean bor hasira? Marabi ababa kana bor vesira gamru labna she'arag. A boar, a pit, and a thorn, sira, cause Avner to be killed because these two things that David HaMelech did, and Avner kind of convinced Shaul not to convince Shaul to ignore it, and that's why he caused Shaul to hate David more, and therefore he was chayav. Yoav took Avner to talk to him privately in peace. Yoav judged him as if it's an injustice. He said to Avner, why did you kill my brother Asel? So he said, Asel was trying to kill me. So he answered him back the same thing. You should have saved yourself by injuring him. He said, I wasn't able to. So he said, he said, well, you were able to then injure him. So this is the conversation he had with Avner before he killed Avner for killing his brother. And what does it mean, Libere Tova Sheli? What do you mean he came to speak in Sheli? Amar Rav Rav al Iske Sheli came to ask him halacha and chalitza. He asked him, how would a woman without hands untie the shoe for chalitza? And then Avner bent down to show him how she would do it with her teeth. And he asked when he kept it. Yoav stabbed him in the fifth rib. The same way that Avner killed Asael, Yoav killed Avner. When Shlomo Melech told Benyamin to kill Yoav, he told him, Hashem will return Yoav's blood on his own head. Because he killed two tzaddikim. Tovim, they were better than Yoav. They understood how to learn that pasuk correctly regarding the limud Torah, not listening to the king. The Yoav didn't know how to do it. Tzaddikim, they were tzaddikim. Shehen bapev lo asu. Because they got orders from the king and they did not listen to. He received a letter and he did it against the halacha. Okay. When Yoav killed the Masad, the Pasuk says that Masad did not realize that Yoav had a sword. Amar Rav, Shelo Hashadu. Masad never suspected Yoav was going to kill him. Yoav, after Yoav died, he was buried in the house in the desert. He was buried. Was his house really in the desert? He answered Rav, Come Midbar, his house is like a desert. Midbar, Mufkar Lakol, Apeto Sheav Mufkar Lakol. Just like his house was, just like a desert is empty and everybody is free for all. So too, Yoav made his house free for all people to take stuff. Different explanation. Just like the desert is free from robbery and improper behavior, Yoav's house was the same way. Yoav brought life to the city. Even small fish that Yoav would taste, delicacies, Paris would give it to the poor people of the city. He would feed people even the delicacies that he owned. There were four types of executions that he did. Rabbi is different order. Burning first, then stoning, then henek, then beheading. Zoom mitzvah niskalin, and we mentioned this, how you stone people, we mentioned this last perek. Whenever Hamim teach a Mishnah by making a list or numbering them, there's no specific order. Except for the way that the 7 things used to clean. What does that mean? The Mishnah says, if a woman has blood in her clothing, you want to know if it's actual blood, a stain rather, in clothing, you want to know if it's blood or something else. You're able to use these 7 agents, you put it together, and then you'll be able to decide, you'll be able to discern if it's blood or a different stain. What are they? Rok, tafil, regular saliva without anything in it. Megadisin, chewed beans. Meriglaim, urine. Veneter. Neter is a type of earth, a piece of earth. Borit. Borit is a type of herb. Emulia, we're not sure what that is. And ashlach, ashlach is a type of thing found in a pearl of the ocean. Now, if you do it out of order, or you did it all one shot instead of consecutively, loss of lokum doesn't count. You said that's the only time that it makes a difference in the order, but over here as well. Our case is that machloket. So we see that the reason why they argue in the order is because we wanted to mention the top to bottom. First opinion holds Sekila is hardest, and the second opinion holds that Serefa is the hardest. And then also the first opinion holds headaches more than Chenek, and Rabbi Shimon holds headache more than Chenek more than headache. So how come how does he hold? How come he not mention our Mishnah? Because the Tuz L'Kokai, you don't talk about Machlokets. Machlokets is something else. Even the order of the service of the Kohen Gadol in Yom Kippur. The Tanakh Mishnah says, every step of Yom Kippur is mentioned in a specific order. If he did one step before the other, if they did one animal instead of the other animal, that does not count. So, why did he not mention our Mishnah? Because over there, that we want to Machmir Yom Kippur, but it's not the halacha. That's extra chumrah. Even the Tamid order of a sacrifice, we have to do in a certain order. The Tamid Allah, the Shah says over there, they have to do a certain order of the Tamid. So how can we mention our Mishnah as a case of doing something in a specific order? because that's only a mitzvah that we're supposed to be done in order, but this is just a list. And also, Rav Sachora wanted to exclude chalitza. Tanam Mishnah said, mitzvah chalitza, the way a woman does chalitza. Chalitza is a woman takes her brother-in-law if she had no, if she didn't have children from her husband and he dies, the brother-in-law is supposed to marry her. And if he doesn't want her, they do this system of chalitza. The Tanam Mishnah says, the way of chalitza is as follows: Bahu v'yimto b'fnei betin. Him and the sister-in-law come before betin. And if need be, they would give him advice. If she was crazy or if they had big age difference, they would tell him do chalitza instead of doing yibum and marrying her. I think we talked to him. She would say after he would opt for chalitza instead of marrying her. Yibum. Any of me who see the pesukim, who married lo hafazti lekatay, he says I don't want her. Or b'shon hakodesh, I mean they quote the pesukim in b'shon hakodesh. V'nikshay even told Allah, and then it's the kibbutz hazal and alo. Sister-in-law shall approach him in front of the rabbis and take off his shoe. He has to spit in it. And that spit has to be big enough spit that the judges can see it. So if she can't spit well because she's old, it doesn't count. Then she has to say, this shall be done to who does not want to build a house to his brother because she doesn't want to marry her. That's what she calls the marida. The order is as follows. She says the pasuk, he answers the pasuk, she takes off the shoe, spits in it, and then she says the pasuk. But then we ask the question, what's the chidush? I mean, Mishnah says that, how it's supposed to be done. The chidush is mitzvah, that's the mitzvah supposed to be done. Therefore, if he changes it, it doesn't make a difference. Tell me how this over the Brata says, Ben shehikdim halitza l'rekika, or rekika halitza, masha asa. So if she changed the order of the spitting or the taking off the shoe, etc., it is fine. Also exclude a different type of list. Tana Mishnah said, Kohen Gadol mishmesh b'shmona kelim. The Kohen Gadol uses 8 clothing. The regular Kohen uses 4. Right? So those 4 things: the shirt, the pants, the hat, and the belt. And the Kohen Gadol also has Hoshen, Ephod, Me'il, Besis. The Tana Bezeh said, Minan shloye dvar kodim. How do you know that nothing should be worn before the pants? Shneimar u'michne sebad yihiu abisaro. The pants should be on his skin. What does that mean on his skin? Everything on his skin. No, teach you that it should be first. But how come our Mishnah, why did that Mishnah did not mention the shirt goes first? Because Mishum Dakmut Kre, because the Pasuk mentioned it first. If that's the case, we could have Akdemeh. So why did the Pasuk mention it first? Because Mishum Demechsayat Kudla Gofela Difele, even though the pants goes first, but the Torah mentions the shirt, whatever it's like a robe that covers most of the body first, and that's why it mentions that first. We'll stop here. Amen.